Hello, and welcome everyone. Let's discuss Jesus being born on December 25th. We're going to stress two biblical points, one being the prophecy of Haggai, the other being the service of Zacharias, the husband of Elizabeth. First, let's take a look at the service of Zacharias. From Luke 1:5, we know his course was Abijah. From 1 Chronicles 24:10, we know that's the 8th course. From 1 Chronicles 24:1 through 19, we know there are 24 courses. Now, each course is 1 week, so they serve twice a year, and they serve from Sabbath to Sabbath. Take a look at 1 Chronicles 9:25, 2 Kings 11:9, 2 Chronicles 23:8. Extra weeks, they would draw lots to see who would cover them. The courses were not shifted as some people presume. The obligations of the priests and the service never stopped, it never changed, and it did not shift. Feasts had extra priests to cover them, yes, but the normal service never stopped. The priests came from the different cities and would serve in the temple for 1 week and would return home. A time that's greater than 1 week would have put a burden wherever they came from. Now, discussing the calendar, the 8 courses would be in the 2nd and 8th months. We will look at the second service, which most people do not consider. As described in Luke, Elizabeth was 6 months pregnant when the angel visited Mary, as described in Luke 1:36 and 1:26. Now, those passages do not mean the 6th calendar month. The context they were speaking in was months of Elizabeth's pregnancy. Luke 1:56 says that Mary stayed 3 months and then went home. So from Zacharias' service, add 6 months of Elizabeth's pregnancy plus 9 months of Mary's for a total of 15 months till Jesus is born. Looking at the calendar for the second service, adding 15 months puts us at the end of the 11th month. Now, it doesn't say, but if Elizabeth was pregnant at the beginning, and we're speaking of the beginning of the 6th month, when the angel appeared, we can subtract 4 weeks, which would put us at the end of the 10th month. Prophecy starts in chapter 2, verse 6. Of up to 3 weeks, verse 7, our day never happened yet, and shift back. The Lord starts speaking to the end of December. It could be so we have December to pay attention 25th. So this verse is actually referring to. Verse 9 refers to the second covenant, the prophecy of Haggai, the spiritual temple of God. There is a lot compared to the old prophecy. Zerubbabel being the second temple is Zerubbabel. Peace. We'll take a look at that. It's future. It's a future spiritual chapter, verses 18, 19, and Jesus Christ are our main focus. Yet. In context, Haggai is sent to assist Zerubbabel. Zerubbabel has already started working on the temple restoration on the site of Solomon's temple. Note, it is not called Zerubbabel's temple. Okay, prophecy starts in chapter 2, verse 6. Let's take a look at that. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, yet once in a little while I will shake the heavens and the earth and the sea and the dry land. Verse 7, and I will shake all nations, and the desire of all nations shall come, and I will fill this house with glory, saith the Lord of hosts. Well, this has never happened yet. And the Lord is speaking of a house. Verse 9 says, the glory of the latter house shall be greater than the former, saith the Lord of hosts. And in this place I will give peace, saith the Lord of hosts. Well, the second temple had no peace. It's a future spiritual temple in Jesus Christ, who hasn't been born yet. Verses 11 through 14 explains how they are not perfect, and their offerings do not make them perfect or holy. Verses 15 through 17 discuss their punishment for their waywardness. Now verse 18 speaks of a specific day, December 25th, and brings up the temple. Consider now this day and upward from the 24th day of the 9th month, even from the day that the foundation of the Lord's temple was laid. Consider it. Verse 19, is the seed yet in the barn? Yea, as yet the vine, and the fig tree, and the pomegranate, and the olive tree hath not brought forth. From this day will I bless you. Well, the crop sprouted every year, so what is it talking about? Is the seed yet in the barn? We know of no blessings from that time period. It got worse. Matthew 13:38 discusses something. It says the seed are the children of the kingdom. John 15:15, Jesus said he is the vine, but he hasn't come yet. He is the blessing that is speaking of that is coming on that day. Luke 3:17, gather the wheat into his garner, his barn. The wheat is the seed. That's what hasn't been brought forth yet. It's the saints, is what we're discussing. And it can happen till the vine has accomplished his task, which the blessing is the Savior being born that does this. Verse 23 says, in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, will I take thee, O Zerubbabel, my servant, the son of Shealtiel, saith the Lord, and will make thee as a signet, for I have chosen thee, saith the Lord of hosts. Remember I was talking about who is Zerubbabel? It says, for I have chosen thee my servant, I will make thee a signet. That is speaking of Jesus Christ. A signet is a seal for a document. In this case, a covenant, a new covenant, to build the new spiritual house, the new spiritual temple. It is Jesus. Ephesians 2:20-22 explain to us a temple in the Lord. Now Zechariah 4:9, Zerubbabel laid the foundation of this house. His hands will finish it, it says. Well, Zerubbabel did not finish the second temple. Then who did? So it wasn't one made of wood, and it wasn't a person. Who finished it was he who said, it is finished, and he finished it on the cross. Zechariah 4:7 says, Zerubbabel shall bring forth the headstone or cornerstone. That's Jesus. Jesus is the cornerstone. Ephesians 2:20 of this spiritual house that it's talking about. So that's a brief overview of some of the prophecy in Haggai. It's talking about Jesus being born. That's the blessing, I believe, on December 25th. Thank you for watching.